Lyon as the Europa League final comes to a dramatic conclusion here tonight. Two teams against two European greats, if you like. Atletico Madrid have won the trophy a couple of times in recent years, the last being in 2012, and against Marseille, who are bidding to win their first European trophy. 23. It's actually on home soil for Marseille in a way, because the final, as I say, is being played in France. So it's a sort of a derby in a way. Spain against France, and what a final it promises to be here in Lyon tonight. And of course, a real opportunity here as both teams emerge from this tunnel here in Lyon. There's a terrific atmosphere, and there's a few names in the two starting lineups, of course, which you'll be very familiar with. That is for sure, as the teams, as I say, emerge from this tunnel, and there's a cracking atmosphere. We've had a pop group, a French pop group perform. Now it's the turn of the 22 players that take to that field here in Lyon tonight, and what a game it promises to be. Of course, the European Cup final being held a week on Saturday, of course, in Kiev. Liverpool probably will win that one. Tonight it's all about Atletico Madrid and big names like Diego Costa, Antonio Griezmann, and all these type of players. Godin, the defender, as well. Oblak, a superb keeper, and he made some great saves in the first leg of the semi-final against Arsenal. And otherwise it might have been an avalanche for Arsenal, but they're not to be here. Dimitri Payet, of course, former West Ham as well. Steve and one or two others, of course. Absolutely superb. And as I say, we'll go through the lineups in just a second for you. And it's a razzmatazz sort of night here in Lyon. The sort of ceremony that the Americans would be proud of. I'll say, look, you've been to be the first French club to win a European prize since Paris Saint-Germain won the old Cup Winners' Cup back in 1996. Atletico Madrid have their two previous European finals have come in the European Cup or the Champions League. Both against Real Madrid, their city rivals, who of course playing Liverpool a week on Saturday. Well, hopefully the smoke and the stage will be clear and we can get the game going. This is the team from Marseille. Steve Mandanda, former Palace man, in goal. Sarr, Rami, Luis Gustavo and Amani, the back four. Then the two holders, Sanson and Aguirre. Thauvin, Payet and Ocampos, with Jermaine up front. Thauvin, of course, formerly of Newcastle United. They're going to play five in midfield with four at the back and one up front. So a 4-5-1 formation with essentially Kamara, Ronaldo amongst the substitutes as well. Big moments these, and Dimitri Payet, what a moment for him. What a decision to come back to France, and he obviously skippers the side. Of course, Steve Mandanda, Crystal Palace fans will know very well. An absolute terrific atmosphere as they line up for their team photograph. And we'll have a look, before we look at the Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Bjorn Kuipers of the Netherlands is the referee. The two assistants, Sander van Wonko, Danny Michele, Erwin Zinstra and Paul van Bronco. So two assistants running the line and two either side of the goals. Gabi, the captain of Atletico Madrid. And still the smoke hasn't cleared yet from the stadium as we look at the Madrid side. Oblak is obviously in goal. Valesco, Gimenez, Godin and Lucas, the back four. And then two holding midfielders, Gabi and Sol, Correa and Coca on the flanks, and Griezmann and Costa. So essentially Diego German Burgos in for the suspended Diego Simeone, who's not here tonight. Is going to go essentially 4-4-2. So Griezmann, the main man, Atletico Madrid, the bookies' favourites, red hot favourites, but never count Marseille in the semi-final. They were looking dead and buried. The aggregate was at 2-2 in extra time. They got a late goal and took them to the final. In one-off occasions, Marseille are not a red side. And still we're waiting for the smoke to clear. Marseille, I can tell you, are in the white shirts, Atletico Madrid in red and white, as the Dutch referee Kuipers prepares to get this game underway. Nice touch there between Griezmann and Payet, two Frenchmen of course, and they'll be surely French colleagues, teammates when the World Cup kicks off in less than 30 days time from now. You'll be able to hear a lot of the games live on this YouTube channel. As I say, World Cup coverage will start in earnest. But we're all set to go then. Yes, Europa League final of 2018. No English team involved, but that should not detract from an enjoyment. Sides that hopefully will put on a spectacle for this final. And Marselle, almost rugby style, get us underway. And that ball already out for a throw, level with the Madrid penalty area to Atletico. Level with the area, and Marselle, for the record, attacking the goal to our left in the white shirts, and it's red and white, as I say, for Real Madrid, for Atletico Madrid I should say. But a cracking atmosphere as you would expect for a final of this purpose and magnitude, and let's hope we're a fantastic final as Sol concedes the first throw in, and Marseille will look to build. And really they need to get their first goal tonight, Marseille. They are the underdogs, so the pressure more on Atletico Madrid to really perform here tonight. Remember, they've lost their last two European finals, although they were both to their city rivals Real Madrid. And well, their city rivals play Liverpool, as I say, but the more I think about that game a week on Saturday, the more you think Liverpool might still do it. You'll be able to hear that with us a week on Saturday. Of course, the FA Cup final this Saturday coming. And a little bit of a scrappy affair in the middle of the park at the moment. Dug out there, long ball forward. Costa is obviously the main man. Griezmann can make things happen on his day as well. A long ball forward, and that should be the goalkeepers. And that's Oblak, who made some good saves against Arsenal in the first leg at the Emirates Stadium in the first leg of the semi-final. But as I say, I think it's going to be a tough assignment this for both sides. No quota given. A long ball over the top, which is unlike Atletico Madrid, and Steven Danda can just about see, and the smoke is still not lifted here at this stadium. It's very difficult to see through that smoke at the moment to tell you which players are which at the moment. It's very difficult right now. The ball out of play, 5 yards from halfway, for a throw inside the Marseille half to Atletico Madrid. We've had 2 minutes gone, still 0-0 here in Leon, where the final is taking place. And of course, you guys can have your say, and if you want, and talk about tonight's game. And of course, we'll talk more in depth about the England squad and my views on it, and it's very strong views on what Gareth Southgate has picked here this afternoon. That will be on a different video a little later for you, and that will be recorded after I finish commentary here tonight. It's Brjanko to take the throw, number 16 here, almost level with the 6-yard line of Marseille. The throw, can they get? It's all about the opening goal. Here's Brjanko's long throw, and it's come out again. Cross came in from the right hand side. Marseille smuggle it away, and the ball hooked forward. Again, good header, one again. I think it's going to be a battle up between two playmakers, and of course Griezmann. You've got Griezmann on one side and Payet on the other, and here's Payet now, 35 yards from goal. Good chance here for Marseille, and it's over the bar. What an opportunity that was. Payet laying it in, and no more than 7 yards out, he's breaks it over the bar. It's a lovely ball forward. Payet involved very much so there, and it's a beautifully weighted ball. The flag stayed down, and over the top it went. Good ball. Oh, it should score for me, and that's a real opportunity gone begging. Couldn't tell who it was actually who had the shot, because the smoke has still not cleared yet in the stadium. But the first big chance in the finals come after 4 minutes. 0-0. A terrific final in prospect though, as the ball is played down the far side again. I must say, having a few having a good spell early on when they're making chances count, but not well. They didn't take that one then. But I tell you what, it's a good start this from Marseille, the underdogs to win this Europa League. And of course Burnley will be in it next season. They start in the second qualifying round. I had to bring up Burnley, didn't I? As I say, terrific atmosphere. Jermaine Burgos is the coach, and what a job he's done at the moment. It's a great atmosphere. Zidane actually cheering on Marseille as well. Well, and an opportunity here, and over the top this time. Marseille having two opportunities again, and in fact it was just wide, and he hooked that one very much goalwards there. Hit that superbly well, number 23. And just wide of the target. Jermaine missed the earlier opportunity, by the way. It was Rami with the shot just there with his right foot. And I can't stop breathing into the mic. I can't help it. That's the mic. So I'm sorry. It has to be like that one. If you don't like that, please stop. I will not. If you want to talk about the game, fine, but I've got to breathe, otherwise I die, basically. That's not the way it works. I've got to breathe. I've got to grasp air. It works, so no, I will not stop breathing. 0-0 is the score, but Marseille have missed two fantastic chances. One ball forward again, and this time Atletico Madrid do some good defensive work there, and the ball has gone out of play for a throw-in, and Marseille take the ball very quickly on halfway. Then the ball is forward once again. Now the chance for Griezmann to come into the attack. Costas are with him in support. The ball threaded out to the right hand side, and then Marseille to bring it away down the left hand side. This is a million miles an hour stuff, this, and the referee from Holland deciding that it was a Marseille free kick. We've had 7 minutes here of this final. 0-0. And not for the one to try here. Jermaine has missed a great opportunity for Marseille, and Gary forced one that just went wide of the target. Or Rami, sorry. Still 0-0. One ball forward once again. And again the Atletico Madrid defence was on red alert there. The referee playing advantage. There was a foul there on a Marseille player in the build-up. The ball's spread eagle towards the far side, but it won't be kept in on the far side. It will be a throw to Atletico Madrid. Now, as I say, are the bookies' favourites to win the competition. A few boos, a few whistles with the time that Atletico Madrid are taking over on the throws at the moment. What's the FA Cup final on Saturday? You'll be able to hear that with us. And Griezmann knocking it forward, but there's a foul there by Diego Costa, who's got a reputation of being a very physical man. I mean, was the man he fell, and Costa's been called over to the referee. He will stand no nonsense now. Will he book him? No, just a word. Just a word in his ear. Clash of heads, really. I don't think there was anything malicious about that, although Costa did look at Rami and then proceeded to go into his head. I'm not sure whether that was pure accidental or whether that was intentional, but Costa does have that reputation for living on the edge and doing silly things like that. So he's got to be careful. 0-0 coming up towards 9.5 minutes gone here in Lyon. And here come Marselle, the French side, who, as I say, got here the hard way in extra time to get to the final. Sarr with a good run there, but he was stopped. This is Sarr again on the far side. Infield it goes. Paya will be the one that's going to interlink surely with the attackers like Jermaine and one or two others. Griezmann touching that one back and then hooked forward. And the ball's got about 50 yards up in the air, or 50 foot in the air. And the ball back again to the defenders. And again, the pace just being slowed down a fraction. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. A good first half really in the making here. Just to remind everybody that's not familiar with the rules of knockout football, if it's level after 90 minutes we will have extra time. If it's level after that, penalties. And in the games that we've covered on the JB Clark YouTube channel, no game has gone to extra, only 2 games from recollection so far have gone to extra time twice. That was the Leeds Burnley Cup tie we covered at the start of the season, or near the start of the season. And of course the extra time in the FA Cup quarter-final we covered at the King Power between Leicester and Chelsea. And of course the Burnley Leeds game went to penalties in the Abbott system, for which Burnley unfortunately lost. 0-0 now here in Lyon. But it's a good first half. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of attacking intent here. And the ball forward once again. Good skills again, Marselle. Darting in towards the penalty area, out to Paya now. Leaving it back. Now then, a chance here. Right footed shot coming in and wide of the target. And again, just wide off the target. It was a good effort though. No doubt about that from Sarr. Just hits the shot wide. Someone being like 20 odd yards out and went wide of the target. I'm very disappointed with that comment there. Stop breathing. I think that's a disgraceful comment, and if I hear anything like that ever again from yourself, you will be kicked off YouTube, and I'll make sure of that. I can't help but breathe. I can't help breathing. I have to breathe, otherwise I don't live. No here with 12 minutes gone. And it's all been happening here. I'll say, in fact, I've had 64% possession, listeners, so far in the game. Atletico Madrid, of course, have only had about 36%. And as I say, it's early days yet in a final of this importance, and a free kick to Atletico Madrid. The referee, Bjorn Kuipers, standing for any nonsense at this moment in time. You can see why. And then they're building a two-man wall. I think this is going to be a floater maybe from the far side. I'd assume so anyway. Okay, to take the free kick potentially here, but he floats that into the danger zone. Costa was also lurking as well. Oh, as I say, he's headed out. About 13 minutes gone here in the final in Paris. Sorry, in Lyon, sorry. And still, we await the first goal with interest. Vazilenko to take the throw then, as he throws it in there. Again, the headers were won by the defenders. A shot coming in and wide. Coca with a shot from something like 20 yards, and he hit it just wide of the target. Rami and Luis Gustavo getting in each other's way. when the initial clearance went in. And then the shots from Coca just hit wide off the target. Alas, it's a goal kick. And Steve Mandanda, the former Crystal Palace goalkeeper, played in that never to be forgotten match at Turf Moor between Burnley and Crystal Palace last season, when he was on the wrong end of a late winner from Ashley Barnes, and hence the famous line, "We have a new superhero in town. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Ashley Barnes." He also made a mistake on one of the goals. I think it was the second one scored by Johan Berg Gudmundsson. We'll also bring you the bench as well when we get a second or two here. But here come Marselle again down that far side. Again, Sarr likes to attack. Fall back, but loves attacking. And he did well to get away from Coca, but not from Hernandez. Or Hernandez. Well, Diego Simeone is in the stands. He is actually there, but German Yumen Burgos is the coach down on the bench. So Simeone is in the stadium, but he's not allowed down on the touchline, we're told. As he was, remember he got sent off against Arsenal in that first leg, of course. And the ball went back again. Marseille still having plenty of the ball, but they're giving the ball away, and now an opportunity for them to break. Atletico, that is. And Galachko has given that away, but Griezmann has got it through. Now then, it's 3 against 3 here for a moment or two as Madrid go down the middle. Griezmann can't control it, and it's been given away once again. Now then, opportunity knocks again, and here come Marselle on the break. And it's Ocampos running forward towards the edge of the area from the left hand side. Then the ball played in by Payet. Jermaine trying to touch it on the edge of the area, trying to touch it back, but he can't do so. Still 0-0 here. And it's been a decent final so far in the Europa League. Well, this was Coca again, trying to touch the ball back towards Niguez. And now the front facing Poston in full swing on the far side of the stadium here. And we'll flick on once more, and that will be touched back to the goalkeeper, who hooks it out. That's Steve Mandanda, of course. And now Ingers knocks the ball back, gets it back again, second time round on the far side. The ball's given away once again. Still 0-0 here in Lyon in the 2018 UEFA Europa League final. Thauvin winning with the challenge. Former Newcastleman, didn't really do well, didn't set the world on lights at Newcastle. Had a tough time, wasn't very popular with the fans up at St James's Park. Definitely wasn't a favourite of the true Geordie, of course. 17 minutes gone here, and still we await the first goal. If it's level after 90 minutes, don't forget extra time. If it's level after that, penalties. And it's just got a little bit cagey from Atletico Madrid to start with, but it's Marseille had the better chances, and Jermaine tries another shot from almost 20 odd yards. In fact, it was Dimitri Payet, sorry, who tried the shot right footed. He hit it straight into the arms of goalkeeper Jan Oblak, who was easily placed in the centre of his goal, and he did very competently just to pluck the ball sort of out of the air, if you like, and the ball came away once again. Now then, opportunity again, knocking for Atletico for Thauvin Barber from Marseille, and he's taken on Hernandez, but he's lost out this time. Still 0-0, of course, here in Lyon, and the ball knocked away once again. Now Correa for Atletico Madrid, deep inside his own territory though, getting the ball over halfway, but again it's an aimless pass. And that's been the story of Atletico Madrid's first half so far, that they just haven't been able to get Griezmann or Costa involved, and that's a bit of a worry as far as they're concerned, because with all their talent, It should be a much better side and should be competing better with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona at the top of La Liga. As Marselle again coming forward menacingly. Again, a good cross in from Torvan, but straight into the arms of from the right hand side. It was a decent cross. It's just too high for the likes of Ocampos and Jermaine, and it was easy for the goalkeeper Oblak to put the ball out of the air. He's kicked away from the edge of his own penalty area, but then he goes straight to the other goalkeeper in yellow tonight, Steve Mandanda, who's defending the goal away to my right. Here's Mandanda again, kicks away right-footed. A good kick out it is by Mandanda. 61% possession so far, Marseille. Just the 39% to Atletico Madrid. 0-0. Great first half here in Lyon. The French side, Marseille 0. The Spanish side, Atletico Madrid 0. In the 2018 Europa League final, no English team involved. Arsenal crashed out at the quarterfinals. Everton, the other English representatives, crashed out at the group phases. And it was a real Greek tragedy, that one. And in fact, just to keep you abreast of all the football news, Everton are part of the company with Sam Allardyce today. So is Steve Walsh, of course, the head of recruitment. He's now been replaced. Meanwhile, a chance here for Atletico Madrid to claim first. Griezmann, and they scored. It was a mistake by the Marseille defence, and you did not give Antonio Griezmann, or Antoine Griezmann rather, that opportunity. He got 1-on-1 with Steve Mandanda. It was a mistake by Rami, the defender, and in the end he got punished for it. He went straight down the middle, got 1-on-1 with Mandanda, and just coolly stepped it away into the net. Nothing Mandanda could do, and it's an early strike for Atletico Madrid, who I have to say have been second best. The ball back to Mandanda. They try to play up from the back, and you would have to say Rami and the goalkeeper should be culpable for that. They tried to be too clever, they tried to be too integrate, they tried to play Atletico at their own game, and it backfired badly because Griezmann got through the middle. Nice through ball to set him up. I think it was Gabby who put the ball forward, and Griezmann with his left foot side foots it into Mandanda's net, and and does a jig of delight there. 1-0 to Atletico Madrid, and the favourites now, surely, after a stuttering start, are more settled now. Well, you don't get easy goals like that usually presented to you in a final. When that was schoolboy defending from Marseille, it has to be said. Rami and the goalkeeper absolutely tried to take Atletico Madrid on at their own game. That's 5 goals in his last 8 Europa League games, by the way, for Antoine Griezmann. And Simeone's side a goal ahead. It was just brainless football really from the French side, and well, you don't give an opportunity like that to Antoine Griezmann, the Frenchman who's come back to France and has put a big spoke in the wheels of Marseille's juggernaut, which was going on quite nicely with the chances, but when you miss chances you invariably do get punished. Now the first yellow card is going to be shown to Voshenko, and that's a free kick to Marseille, who need to really hit back quickly. We played 23 minutes in the first half, so we're halfway through this first half of the 2018 Europa final, and we'll be with you up until about 10 o'clock tonight here as number 5 Ocampos wins a free kick. I have to say it was a little bit on the soft side because Ocampos did go down possibly a little bit too easily, but it is a free kick, and Payet is going to take the free kick. We'll come to us. Absolutely none of us is comment about the England squad in a little while when we get a break in play, but we have a free kick to see out first, to be taken by Payet with his right foot, curls it in from the left hand side. A little flick on, a little bit of a scramble in there, and the ball's still not away yet, and then the ball headed forward and on the roof, and then it goes, and a goal kick. Ocampos nodding it forward, and unfortunately for him it went right on the roof of the net as he attempted to knock the ball in from about 17-18 yards out just to the left of the goal. Absolutely Anonymous says good evening JB, good evening to you mate, and he says the England squad is 50-50. Why is Tarkowski and Lallana in the reserve list? Well, that is one of the mysteries that Mr. Southgate will have to answer. There will be a video coming on YouTube a little later on after we've completed commentary of the game. I am recording a YouTube video soon afterwards, and I have to tell you the selection of a certain Mr. Welbeck is high up on the list of things for me to actually rant about, and there are a few nice surprises. Trent Alexander-Arnold I think has deserved the call-up. I think Nick Pope's deserved the call-up. Meanwhile here in Lyon we've got a free kick to Atletico Madrid. Velasquenko has been tripped there by Ocampos, and a definite free kick there. The referee so far from Holland has tried to let the game go, but it's very difficult when the fouls have been committed here, and there have been some bad fouls so far. Free kick on the right hand side, and well, with plenty more to come. Of course the World Cup, and of course Chris Whiteman, who was your commentator for the playoffs on Saturday, he'll be back with the playoff finals of course, and of course he'll be the second commentator at the World Cup. Commentator at the World Cup as an opportunity came here out of the blue for Atletico Madrid from the free kick, and it was Diego Costa? No, it wasn't. It was Correa with the shot with his right, trying to knock it goalwards with his right foot. Now, world goalkeeper ran down to hoof it. Now, he should have done that in the first place, when helping Atletico get gifted a goal. But I will be, as I say, absolutely honest, I will be compiling a separate video on that. And of course, we've got more live commentary. I'll be commentating on the FA Cup final, of course, on Saturday. Kick-off at 5:15, but our build-up will start half an hour before kick-off with a vibe with me, and of course the teams and the national anthem as it is traditional on Cup final day. And of course, we'll have the whole game for you live, and of course we'll have as well a week on Saturday the European Cup final from Kiev. Real Madrid take on Liverpool, and what a final that really promises to be. And can Liverpool win the European Cup for the 6th time? Real Madrid going to win it for a 3rd consecutive year, but standing in the way at Jurgen Klopp's European marvels so far, and hopefully we'll have Mo Salah fit and ready to go in that one. And let's hope old Big Ears goes back to Anfield and to England, and obviously back to Anfield for a 6th time. Remember they won it in 77, 78, 1981, 1984, and the last time of course was 2005. Just 30, doesn't seem a long time ago, but it's actually 13 years now, so it is a long time, but it doesn't seem that way. Meanwhile, you're missing absolutely nothing of the game so far we've got on at the moment between Marseille and Atletico Madrid. As I said, there'll be more on the England issue on a different video, because I do have a rant about certain individuals that shouldn't be in the squad. I hear certain Mr. Welbeck, who was blanked out in the first leg, in the second leg by a very strong Atletico Madrid defence, and so far they're holding good, such wood for them at the moment, as Atletico look to win the UEFA Cup for the first time since, well, the Europa League for the first time since 2012. And Mandanda took a chance there in his own area, because Griezmann was closing him down all the while there inside his own penalty area. I have to say, it's not been a classic in terms of fouls. We have had a few stoppages for fouls and things like that. The latest one there was a foul on Coca by number 17 Sarr. It was a silly thing for Sarr to do. Why? Because, to be honest with you, Coca's going absolutely nowhere fast, and he's pulling his shirt back. I just don't understand the mentality of the foreigners. But what I do know is Atletico Madrid, the red hot favourites, are ahead 1-0, and it was a mistake really by a combination of Rami and the goalkeeper trying to play clever, trying to play dangerously and play too clever. You don't do that against the team of Atletico Madrid's and down to quality. And at the moment 1-0 up, but Marseille will feel on balance of play they should be in front themselves, and they have had the chances in the early doors before the goal came. This is Saul breaking down the right hand side, the far side as we look. Ball in field towards Payet. He can't control that Payet. We've not really seen much else really, apart from the chance where they led in Germain for an effort that went wide and high and not so handsome. It's well kept in by Vazilenko on the far side, and the ball ushered back to the goalkeeper. Just about got there and hoofed it away. Now then, Ocampos down the left hand side. That's good skills by him, showing his pace well, but there was 4 red and white shirts behind him or surrounding him, and 4 into 1. He wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to win Ocampos against 4 opponents there, was he? And we've got a problem with the balls. There's 2 on the pitch. We've got to put one out and get the other back in play. Half an hour gone here in Lyon. Marseille 0, Atletico Madrid 1. And just to remind everybody that if it's level after 90 minutes, we will have an half an hour more extra time. And if it's level after that, we'll with possibility of a penalty shootout. And there's an injury there. It looks like Payet's on the floor, on the deck. And it is the number 10, and this would be a big blow to Marseille if he was to go off. He's absolutely feeling it down there now. Physio is on at the moment. Payet's being helped back up to his feet by the medical staff. This is a concern for Marseille. And he doesn't look... Oh, he's cried, he's in tears. I think he may well have to be substituted at this rate, and if he is, Lopez is going to take his place. And what a shame. We built it up and it's not going to be his night, and he's had to give Gustavo the captain's armband, and look at that, he's in tears as he walks off the field. You can understand it. It's a big night for him. It's a major final, the World Cup, about a month away. And if that injury is a bad one, and if the injury is a bad one, then it may well be the end of his World Cup dreams as well. The man is absolutely beside himself, in tears there. Dimitri Payet, a terrific player on his day, but he got a good standing ovation from his home fans. But now Lopez has got to come on and make the difference here. Marseille have lost their key man and are trailing after 32 minutes of this Europa League final by a 0-0. A goal gifted to Antoine Griezmann by a combination of the goalkeeper, Bendanda, and Rami, the defender, trying to play out from the back and really getting their fingers absolutely burnt to a cinder there. Griezmann put through by Coca, absolutely finished it with no trouble at all. And now poor old Payet, looks like he's out of the World Cup, judging by the reaction. No one would want to wish that on anyone, and it's a shame because he's a terrific player. We saw in the Euros a couple of years ago what he can achieve in a French shirt. Very unlucky not to win the final, of course, France, but Payet was at the hub of everything he did, and now the whole French team will have to hope that Antoine Griezmann stays fit as well, because they're going to need him more than ever now with Payet out of the frame. But Marseille are still alive at 1-0. Anything can still happen, but with Payet out the team, it's going to be a bit more difficult for them in terms of this final anyway. As for what it will do for France in the future, with the World Cup just under a month away, who knows? But it's still 1-0 here to Atletico Madrid, who after a shaky start have just grown into the game, taken the advantage of the goal on offer. I know on the balance of play it's undeserved, but when the team like Marseille makes schoolboy errors like that, you invariably do get punished. 33.5 minutes, still 1-0. You're not really missing much there. It's a goal kick anyway, as a Marseille attack broke down involving Sarr. And Jan Oblak, who hasn't really had a meaningful save to make so far in this first half, takes the goal kick, and it's over the halfway line. Costa flicking it on the far side, but again flicked it into no man's land, and it's with Marseille, the men in white, trailing the men in red and white stripes by a 0-0. France nil, Spain 1 if you were going to put it into countries' perspectives, because obviously Marseille are from France and Atletico Madrid are in Spain. And it's Vaselenko for Madrid, or Atletico I should say. Griezmann takes possession on the right hand side, feeds Costa. Costa can't knock it back towards Ingles. Ingles is out once more. Now a chance there, it's a foul there. Sanson penalised. The referee from Holland, a little wide smile. You pulled him back, sunshine. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, fistful of shirt there. Although Gabby made a little bit of a meal of it when he needed to. The free kick was a right enough decision, but I think Gabby's reaction was a little bit over the top there, a little bit. It's a free kick midway inside the Marseille half, and it's been taken quickly to the far side. Vaselenko keeps it in play, but I think the referee's not happy, so they're going to have to retake the free kick again. So off we go again. I don't think the referee was happy then. I think common sense should prevail on a night like this, really, to be honest. But the referee was adamant. Here comes the free kick into the penalty area, only half away by Marseille, and then there's a foul there, an offside in fact been given, as we go into the final 10 minutes of the first half here in Lyon. And there's still smoke all over the place here after the pre-match pyrotechnics and entertainment. There was a French band entertaining us before the teams came out of the tunnel. And the smoke and the pyrotechnics are still yet to clear. But the referee, I have to say, it's been a little bit fussy. I have to say, the Dutch ref. I have to say the referee's not had a good game at all. In a final, you want to see a game flow, and I'm afraid the referee has shown no attempt or no effort, in my opinion, to try and let a game with two attack-minded sides actually live and breathe the actual game. It's for little niggling things, and now we've got a situation here where Correa is down on the ground and rolling around in presumed agony there, and some of the foreign teams, some of the theatrics they get up to, we're going to have to watch out for those a little bit in the World Cup. Well, he's not touched him at all. Oh my goodness me. I'll tell you what, if he's actually touched him then I think again he's made a meal of it. I don't like players play acting. It's just a joke, you know. And that's the one thing that frustrates me about the game abroad. That the players have to resort to out-and-out play acting to get decisions. The referee's not helping matters. Now another incident over on the near side as well. The linesman was about 2 yards away. Yellow card has been issued, and it's Luis Gustavo, is it? No, it's not. It's Amarvi. Amarvi is now the second name in the notebook. Varichal was Vaselenko was the other one. And in fact, it was a foul on the Atletico Madrid player. I'm not sure about that. I think Vaselenko was looking for that as well. He's wanted to cross it, and he's bumped into Armani. I think he's very unlucky there, the French player, the Marseille player, to get a yellow card there. I think the referee's been far too fussy for my liking, I have to say. I'm not saying Puyol Kuipers is a poor referee by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's a little bit trigger happy on the old whistle tonight. Free kick, which neither Coca on the left or Griezmann on the right will take. It's going to be Coca with his right foot from the right hand side into the penalty area, header one, but it's over the top of the bar. And it'll be a goal kick. Yeah, it was Gordon, the Uruguayan, with the header. Famous goal he scored for Uruguay in that game against Italy in the last World Cup, which now then was Costa there, a little bit argy-bargy there, I have to say. It's just, I think the game is just getting a little bit of a needle at the moment. I think frustrations could be on the brink of falling over. We've had a lot of theatrics, we've had a lot of niggling play as well. Costa is obviously a great player, but obviously the gamesmanship from his level does boil on the edge a bit. As Tovan, the former Newcastle man, comes forward down the right hand side, wins his team a throw-in. They need something now in the remaining 7 minutes for stoppage time that remained at the end of the first half. An equaliser would be handy for them. Here's Tovan on the far side, gets the cross. It's a poor cross. It's got to go out for a throw, and in the end it's summed up Marseille's frustrations really in the first half. So one player each from each side in the book was Alenko for Atletico Madrid and Avani also in the book. But there has been, unfortunately, a lot of play acted, a lot of stoppages, which has not helped the flow of the game. But we have had a goal scored by Antoine Griezmann, which was given to him really as a present after first Mandanda and Rami tried to play out. The attempts section is 6-4 in Marseille's favour, but they have blazed a few over the top and a few half chances that have ended up on the roof of the net, and one each on target. But the one on target for Atletico Madrid has really counted big time, and that's the way it is at the moment. 1-0 to the side from Spain inside the last 5 minutes of the first half, and been even Stevens' first half. Certainly Atletico Madrid have grown into it with the goal. And oh, Marseille look absolute shambles again at the back. Gustavo didn't know his geography there, because Correa had made up a heck of a lot of ground, and Gustavo there just didn't pay due care or attention either. That was brainless defending, and he's got away with it there. The ball played back to Mandanda. We're now coming up towards the final 5 minutes of a first half really that's not ebbed and flowed. It's been the match has flowed very much like group because of all the stoppages and things like that. We haven't really seen the referee give the Champ opportunity to referee the match and let it breathe, and that's been the one big disappointment for me if I had to conclude in my summary of the first 41 minutes here in Lyon tonight. And you do feel for Dimitri Payet, a great player, and if he was to miss the World Cup, what a shame. It would certainly be a loss to the competition if it was to be that way. And France are one of the potential leading contenders, having had a good Euros. And we're unfortunate, as I say, to lose to Portugal, who should never have won 2 years ago. But there you go. Still 1-0. It's a close run thing, but Marseille, I've got to believe, as Sanson takes the ball on the near side, feeds it in once again. Coming up towards 3 minutes before the interval here, as Ocampos turns down the left hand side, tries to get across into the left hand side of the penalty area, but it's smuggled away by the Atletico Madrid's defence, led by Jimenez and Goldin. And the ball then hooked away. There's another player down on the halfway line. A yellow card has been issued, and the referee here is refereeing this game very strongly, in my opinion. I'd like to see that again. Let's have a look at it once more. Well, I don't know. Let's have a look at it once again. Well, that's the opportunity. I'd like to see a replay of the free kick, because I didn't see anything wrong, but there you go. I think the referee has just been a little bit trigger happy. No doubt about that, in my opinion. Long ball towards the edge of the penalty area, to the left hand side of the penalty area, and I have to say the catch has absolutely flowed like glue. That's sticky super glue. It's just been an awful spectacle, which has not been helped by very fussy refereeing. Stop start. It doesn't help the flow of a match, and both teams are trying to play football, and when the referee's picking nits at decisions, that's where I draw the line. And I do think Mr. Kleipers, the referee, needs to have a much better second half, because the first half, if I was to give him a mark out of 10, I'd give him 4, and that's been kind, to be quite honest, because he's been far too fussy. I think some of the yellow cards he's issued have been of a very strong variety, and some of them have been a little bit soft. But here come Marseille looking to try and hook a ball forward. 1-0 down, remember, the goal from Griezmann after a mistake by the defenders, and here he is on the ball now, 35 yards from goal, and almost getting it through, but again, this time Rami Hossar was perfectly placed to cut out the through ball, which would have been a fantastic through ball if he could have got Coco or Ingres in there. Costa was up as well. We're inside the final minute of the first half, and again the ball out of play. Again, Greece was showing the way again, and it was intended for Diego Costa. But again, you've got to give the Marseille defence a little bit of credit there, and especially Sarr had the presence of mind to cut that ball out. Close one big here, but I'm afraid the game has flowed like glue tonight so far. It's not been a classic. The referee has not helped with some very, very fussy decisions. The Dutch referee. Still 1-0 though to Atletico Madrid. The favourites in front. Bit of space though on the far side now. On the near side as that cross comes in. And it was headed out to once more. And Coca now can bring it away. But Nantovan going right in there. He was one who scored in the semi-final. And now another player down. It's Tovan this time. And let's hope. Is that a serious injury, or is Tovan making it a bit more of a meal of it than it needs to be? I have to say the play acting from both sides has been absolutely disgraceful. Well, he's tapped his ankle there. I don't think you could say that was an assault. And Tovan is making a meal of it now. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Get up. Although it might be serious. It didn't look serious when I saw it on the replay, but if he gets up, then I'm sorry. But I have to say, some of the play acting from both sides has been disgraceful. And that is just simply not enough. Good enough, really, from two sides that have got quality in abundance to play football. And I haven't lived up to their expectations. There goes the half-time whistle. No, yeah, they are going off, I think. Yes, they're all. No, it's a free kick. I thought they were all going off then, but that caught me out a little bit there. So it is a free kick, and it's going to be number 2, Golding, to take it. In fact, the referee decided to blow before Golding takes the free kick, which I find a little bit strange, but there you go. So half time then here in Lyon. It's not been the classic, but Griezmann's goal after a mistake by firstly Mandanda and Rami when they were trying to be clever and play the ball from the back. It was given away to Coca. He threaded a lovely ball. Griezmann slid in after 21 minutes to give Atletico Madrid a half-time interval lead of 1-0. Marseille though have missed chances as well. Germain had a chance earlier on in the first half, but since then Payet has had to go off through an injury. We'll find out more about that at half-time here in Lyon, but it's the favourites in front. It's not been a classic, I'm afraid. The referee sinted that with some very, very fussy refereeing. But at half-time here in Lyon in the 2018 Europa League final, it's Atletico Madrid 1, Marseille 0, and we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the second half. Stay with us. Well, welcome back everybody to the stadium in Lyon, where we're all set to go for the second half. No further changes. The rain's actually coming down here in France at the moment, and it's the goal scorer Griezmann who's given Atletico Madrid a lead by 1-0 as we're prepared to get this second half up and running again. And it's Madrid, of course, Atletico in the red and white shirts, blue shorts, red socks getting us underway, attacking the goal to our left. 1-0 up the goal after 21 minutes from the brilliant Antoine Griezmann. Gives them a lead, a slender lead over Marselle, all in white tonight. White shirts, white shorts, white stockings. Now going towards the right in the second half, but Marselle have 45 minutes to save themselves. Lucas is there as well. There's a change, in fact there was a change at half time. Velasco is off and Lucas, or Juanfran, is on as the long ball comes in towards the penalty area. Knocked away once more, so there was a half-time change. And hope you can rejoin us for the second half, viewers or listeners. As I said, there'll be a YouTube video in more depth on the squad selection for the England 23, my reaction for the England 23-man squad. You'll be able to hear that or see that tonight on another video. Meanwhile, Lucas to take the throw, or number 19, Hernandez. Lucas Hernandez, that is. He's got Lucas on the back of his shirt. So just to confirm the teams, Marselle with Wendanda in goal, Sarr, Rami, Gustavo, Amavani, Zambo and Garcia, Sanson, Turban, Lopez now on for the injured Payet, Ocampos and Jermaine. For Atletico Madrid, it's Oblak, Juanfran, Jimenez, Godin, Hernandez, Correa, Gabi, Ínguez, Koke, Griezmann and Diego Costa. But as I say, both changes have been, well, substitutes in fact, for Real Madrid. Werner, the goalkeeper, Frederic Ruiz, Partey, Torres, former Liverpool man, Savic, and Kevin Gamero, of course, for the French side. Marseille will of course trailing this final. They have on the bench left to go, obviously they've used Lopez, so they've got left from these changes Seki, Kamara, Rolando, Mituguru, Injay and Pele, not the Pele but the substitute goalkeeper, that is who must have the same name as the great Brazilian Pele from the 50s and 60s and 70s, of course, as Atletico Madrid goes charging forward, and that's a good tackle. The referee saw absolutely nothing wrong with that indeed, and a great challenge there. Otherwise that was probably 2-0 to Atletico Madrid, and would have put Marseille well out of the picture there. Return from Correa, away for one man, although Rami did have a fistful of shirt. But I have to say there, Sarr was very, very confident then, and absolutely no problem at all. So it still remains 1-0. And I have to say that players, the players there, both, well, the defenders I should say, my Facebook video is getting a lot of debate at the moment as Griezmann comes charging forward. Aurori is now, he's through the middle and he's going to score. Yes, 2-0, and it's that man again, Antoine Griezmann, and that could be the goal that brings Atletico Madrid the Europa League final. And now it's a long way back for Marseille without Dimitri Payet, who's out through injury, and now they're 2 goals down, and it's that man again, Griezmann. Through he came, the ball was threaded to the right of the penalty area. He got one-on-one with Mandanda. He coolly with his right foot lifted it carefully over the goalkeeper who'd advanced, and the ball finds the way to the net. There's the jig of joy from the Frenchman. 6 goals in 8 games, and no one can touch him right now. 2-0, and he could be in a very good form with the World Cup coming up for France, and my goodness, he could do with a big tournament. He had one a couple of years ago, of course. No doubt he was onside. Costa was the one offside, and if he'd have touched that, the goal wouldn't have stood. So it's a good job he didn't. But Griezmann there, look at that, left foot, threading it over the goalkeeper into the far corner. Costa tried his best not to touch that because he would have been active. But it's a great finish. And the French magician scores in France against Marseille, who are a French team. Koke and Griezmann. And high five with delight. Mendanda looks on disconsolately. And it's going to be an awful long way back, I'm afraid, for Marseille. And it looks as if that injury to Payet has upset the balance of the French side. It has to be very significantly, because when you think about the problems that they've had, losing Payet was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, if you like. And Lopez really hasn't been able to get a foothold since coming on after 32 minutes. But one thing you can't deny is that Griezmann is a cool customer when he's in that final third as Costa goes forward, and that could have easily been an own goal. I don't know who got the last touchdown, and it's certainly a Marseille player. Rami, in fact. My goodness me, if I'd have curled a little more towards the inside of the post, I think that would have been 3-0. Rami clearing it and really taking a risk then. As Griezmann trots over to take the corner, and the Atletico Madrid fans are in absolute cock-a-hoop. They're overjoyed, they're celebrating unbridled here. But as we've seen so many times in cup football, 2-0 still a dangerous scoreline. But Atletico Madrid are too good a team to surely wave away a 2-goal margin, are they? As they go for a third, deflected wide, the shot from 20 odd yards. It's another corner, Griezmann again involved, going for the hat-trick, of course. Left foot hits the defender Gustavo and goes wide for a corner, and again Griezmann will go over to the far side, the right hand side, to take the corner. And he's getting a great reception from the Atletico Madrid fans. Meanwhile, Marseille preparing their second change of the evening. We've had 7 minutes of the second half, and Griezmann to swing one into the penalty area, and header just wide. It was Godin, the centre back, the Uruguayan international, has won well over 100 caps for his country. Could well be featuring in the World Cup. He scored that goal against Italy in the game that was better remembered for the Suarez-Chiellini biting incident 4 years ago. Almost got his name on the score sheet, Godin. A really good defender, sound defender. And he, as I say, you can score. You can score goals as well from attacking positions. And he very close there to making it 3-0, and that would have wrapped the final up without any shadow of a doubt. But it's not been a classic by any means. But Griezmann, with his 2 goals, has really shown to the party on what's been a disappointing night all round in terms of wanting to see a pure game exhibition of pure football skill. We've seen a disgraceful pure exhibition of play acting and diving, but we haven't really seen any pure, great, brilliant football. The only good flashes of genius we've seen, pure genius, have come from Antoine Griezmann, and he is a pure genius, and hopefully he'll light up the World Cup when that starts in just over a month's time. Meanwhile, Marseille go looking for a free kick, and they don't get it, and it's a goal kick. And the referee deciding that it wasn't a foul. Well, Marseille are in big trouble. Let's see if that was a foul. Well, I don't know. And then there's back into it a little bit, and then Germain and Godin there. Oh dear me, it is a physical game out there. Well, the referee knows what he's doing, so Clinton N'Jai will come on for Marseille. Ocampos, who showed some flashes of genius himself in the first half, had a couple of opportunities, half chances, but just wasn't meant to be tonight, I'm afraid. And he will come off, and he's frustrated, and you can understand why. But Clinton N'Jai is a good player himself, and could he be the man to get Marseille back in this final, because they need a goal from somewhere now. The next goal is going to be all important now. If they can get it, Marseille, then they've got every chance of making a fist of this right to the bitter end. We've had 10 minutes almost of the second half gone, 35 minutes left potentially of this final, unless Marseille can find 2 goals from somewhere in that time. Not allotted time, as I say, 35 minutes plus stoppage time, otherwise we will have extra time. Ocampos cuts a very forlorn figure. Down on the bench below me. It's 2-0 and it's an unassailable lead. The better team are winning now. Marseille's pattern and style of play has been broken down with the injury, the sad injury to Payet, to Dimitri Payet in the second half, and now Griezmann going in strong. I thought that was a good tackle. Although Koke wants a free kick. I thought that was a very committed challenge by Luis Gustavo. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, got the ball for me. Nothing dangerous about that at all. Certainly a good tackle there. And we want to see good tackles like that in the game, but the referee's giving it a free kick, and I think again he's showing he's decisive enough to be picky at every single moment. The referee, I have to say, he's not endeared too well to me, I'm afraid. And that's going to run out of play, or kept in play by Steve Mandanda, the goalkeeper. So 2-0 it remains here in Lyon. And well, Marseille have got it all to do, I'm afraid, as the rain pours down, but he can see the sunshine through the rain, because Simeone's team are well in control. Jermaine Burgos, the assistant manager, well, I have to say he's done a terrific job. Marseille have still had the possession. I've had it in terms of possession, but in the end it's not mattering for much at the moment, because obviously at 2-0 it's looking a long way off at the moment. But Griezmann's been the star of the show. There's no two ways about that. And well, it looks as if a third one goes in, I have to be honest, it's going to be game over. And at the moment, Atletico Madrid look the more likely scorers in the next goal, if there is to be a next goal. There's Griezmann again, deep inside the Marseille territory. Again, the tackle's flying in the centre of the field, but now a chance now for Atletico to come forward once again. They're looking for a third. Griezmann is there, Koke is there too. That looks a foul, but the referee's allowed it to play on, which is a rarity in his book, because he's been blown up for fouls left, right and centre for the 57 and a bit minutes we've been playing. That makes a change, although it did look a free kick to me. The referee's completely lost control. There's another foul. There's another player down holding his knee. I think the referee's losing control of this. I think he's been trigger happy. I think he's been card happy. Nothing in that at all for me. There's a clash of feet, but no more than that, unless Lucas is... Well, there was a little bit of a coming together, but not that much to assume that. I think Lucas will be okay again. I just think they've just been play acting every 2 minutes, and that's ruined my enjoyment of the final for me. As Golding takes the free kick, as he chips it in with his right foot in towards the chest, and it's chested down, headed, knocked away once again, and still it remains 2-0. Still Marseille looking to get the ball back and try and get up the field as quickly as they can, but at the moment it's not going their way at the moment. That's good running there by number 19 Hernandez, and he gets his shot in and it deflects, and again he's well, he's shown determination there, and he's won a corner. Now that is fantastic play, and he gets a congratulatory high five from his teammate there, Koke. And the Atletico Madrid fans are responding to this, and also fans will be thinking, if only it was us now tonight. But the best team are winning now, 2-0. Griezmann has certainly been the difference. Koke to go short and gets it back again. Oh, they're nearly making a mess of that then, Griezmann and Koke. They keep possession really well, and Griezmann gets the ball back, and of course he's on a hat-trick, but the flag is up for offside. And a free kick is given to Marselle, who haven't got time to dilly-dally about with the ball now. It's all or nothing for them. 2-0. It's a tough ask for them to come back from the dead in this one. There's a foul there inside on the centre circle in the halfway line. Free kick to Marseille. Again, the referee, I have to say, he's been picking at nits tonight, the referee, with his decision making. I've not been convinced one iota with the referee. He's not endearing himself to me too much, I'm afraid. He has been a little bit diabolical throughout the game. We'll have to see if Marseille can get back into the game. We might get a grandstand finish here. And I have to say it's not been an absolute classic today, I'm afraid. And the ball again goes out of play, and there's two lone figures on the bench. One behind, Campos, and the one in front, a certain Mr. Dimitri Payet as well. Sad night really for Marseille, who fought back from the dead in the semi-finals against Salzburg, but I found it going very, very tough here. Partisan crowd you'd have thought, being in Lyon, French team in the final, it just hasn't come off for them tonight, even on French soil. There's still time yet, there's still a half an hour of this final to go. The referee actually playing advantage. There was a foul there, and he feels that Marseille will benefit from an advantage. They've got men forward, but Atletico Madrid have got men back again. Now then, can they get a goal from this now, Marseille? They just can't get the ball out of the feet at the moment. It's just blanket defence here from Atletico Madrid, and in that position now where they can play on the break. Because the more that Marseille go forward, the more that Atletico will pick them up on the counter-attack. Now, what's happened here? Free kick to Atletico, is it? Well, shirt pulling again. He's pulling his shorts. He's doing the whole lot. And that's a free kick. You can't get away with that, I'm afraid. It's not been a great final in terms of three kicks being given. We must have had something like in the region of about 25 three kicks during the entire 62 minutes we've been playing this final. And it's not helped at all the flow of the football. We want to see good football. We want to see two teams battling it out. And unfortunately it's not been the case. The only bright geniuses we've seen so far have been from one man who's a Frenchman, but he plays for a Spanish side, Mr. Griezmann. We'll have to play for a throw-in. An attempted back heel actually goes out of play over on the far side. And that's good football again from Atletico Madrid. They love to play it the right way. You've got to give Simeone credit. He's been linked, of course, with the Arsenal job, of course, before. Still 2-0. Still plenty of ways back into this game for Marseille if they can get hold of the ball, but that's the trouble. They can't keep hold of the ball. Well, don't get the chance to get the possession together and make chances happen. It's been the story of the final, I'm afraid, and it's not been a classic, and it looks as if it's going to be a one-horse race at the moment. So Red Rum and Desert Hawk is pulling away from two limp horses, I'm afraid, but that's the way it's been, I'm afraid. There's the one ball over the top now, that's looking for Costa. That was a good idea from Koke, but couldn't find the furthest man forward, which was Diego Costa. So 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. Marseille really needing a goal now in this second half, and Lopez trying to get them going again. Still 2-0. It's not looking good for the men from the French Riviera, as Marseille try to make something happen. They got themselves a throw, level with the 6-yard box of Atletico Madrid, and predictably they take the free kick, take that very quickly. And the ball back again. Now a chance here for Lopez to measure up a good cross into the 6-yard area, but once again the chance goes begging. But Marseille haven't finished yet. It's a corner. Godin couldn't take a chance, and it is a corner now. The French believe once again, or the French supporters of Marseille believe. They don't travel well away from the Stade Velodrome, or the Orange Velodrome as it's known now. One goal for Marseille, and they could well be back in this short corner now. It needs to be whipped in from the right and left hand side. Little deflection, the shot coming in, and it was Njai with the shot, Clinton and Njai with the shot. But here comes Sarr now. Sarr needs a good cross, and it's charged down, and that has been the story of the match. Koke there putting his body and spirit on the line, and the ball is now back at halfway, and it's over to the far side as Marley now comes forward. Blazing field. It's been the story of the match so far. This final not really living up to the billing. We were hoping for an open final. Unfortunately we're not getting that tonight. It looks like an opening shot case unless Marseille can score. There's a couple of Marseille players went tumbling down in the Atletico penalty area. No penalty given. Frustration arising for the French team. No, Godin was a fair-minded tackle that from Godin. I have to be honest with you. I know the Uruguayans have a tendency to be far too rough. Nothing wrong with Godin's challenge there. It remains 2-0. And then as the shot came in, there was a slip from the man who struck it. Well, it's not been a great advert for Europa League finals. I've seen far better. And personally, I do believe that. But as Marseille look to try and get back into this game, long crossing, but it's on the roof of the netting. In the story of the match, as Sanson tries to cross the ball in. Remember, 2 more cup finals to bring you next week. Saturday, of course, the FA Cup final. Join me at 4:45 for the build-up, and of course there will be a kick-off time of 5:15. So join me for a bite with me, of course, and the national anthem, and just a little line, of course, from the final. Of course, the European Cup final being played a week on Saturday. Obviously, Prince William is at a certain wedding on Saturday. Something to do with his brother getting married to a certain person called Meghan Markle. So he's going to be on best man duties then. So he's not going to attend the cup final. But in a nice touch, the FA have asked Jackie Wilkins, the widow of Ray Wilkins, who sadly passed away earlier this year, to present the trophy to the winning captain on Saturday. Meanwhile, back here in Lyon, we have a free kick and a foul by Gustavo and Griezmann. As the frustration, oh, he's acted him there, that's silly. On another night that might have been a red card. There is frustration there. 22 minutes left of the final to go. Of course, a week on Saturday, let's hope for a much better spectacle in the European Cup final between Liverpool, going to win the trophy for a 6th time, and this is their 9th final, I think. Well, they won it in 81, 77, 78, 81, 84, 2005. Yes, it will be their 8th final. They've beaten it 7 times. They've lost twice. They won in the Heysel Stadium, where it was overshadowed by that disaster in 85. They lost to a Platini penalty against Juventus, and of course in 2007 AC Milan getting revenge for what happened in 2005. Meanwhile, there's a free kick. The referee again holding things up. He's really fussy, this Dutch referee. Hope we get a better referee than this for the European Cup final in a week and a half time. Griezmann there to take the free kick, left-footed from the left-hand side. Header comes in and wide of the target, and it was Sol coming in, number 8, with the header. And in fact, I think you'll find that came off Gustavo last. And Sol Niguez certainly went in there, but it certainly got a deflection It certainly came up, well, it came off Gustavo, but it came off his hand. I think that's what they're appealing. Nothing can be given. I think the referee and his assistants with the magic wand. Oh, as that ball comes tantalising into underneath that bar. A crossing from the right hand side, and Mandanda having to backpedal to flick it over the crossbar. There's a good cross coming in from the left hand side, and it was Koke's cross, right footed, and the goalkeeper having to take no chances and get that ball and flick it up over the crossbar for a corner. 20 minutes remaining here in Lyon, and it's Griezmann whose 2 goals are showing now, barring accidents, now going to win the next, barring accidents in the next 20 minutes, are going to win Atletico Madrid the Europa League. They lead by 2-0. As Correa finds Griezmann. Griezmann now right hand side, needs to pull the ball back. There's 2-4-5 shirts, red and white shirts in the penalty area, and the ball comes half out, and well, at least they've kept, at least they've achieved one thing in Marselle. They've achieved an objection of some kind. They've kept Atletico Madrid player Costa to limited chances, but Griezmann has certainly run the show here. He's a man, you have to say, for the big occasion, and he's certainly proven that theory absolutely perfectly. The final, that's not really been played in a very cooperative spirit, one has got to say. But it has been a disappointing final as regards the theatrics that have been out on display here tonight, and that's going to run for a corner as they look to try and finish the job off now in terrific style. Well, Costa's forward from the back. We're going to go short again. Correa gets the ball back, plays a 1-2 with his colleague. Correa again to the byline, cross back, and it's gone over everybody's head in the end. But kept in by Costa on the near side. Costa now away from his man, away from his challenger, over to the far side it goes. Still 2-0. Looks as if we're ending up with Atletico Madrid victory. They're just keeping possession now, playing the ball back, and it's just keep ball at the moment, and it's sad to see, really. It's been an absolute frustrating night if you're a Marseille fan, but at the moment, unless they can find a way back in the next 15 minutes or so, the next 18 minutes or so, I fear that cause will be lost. It's been a great final for Atletico Madrid anyway. Marseille losing Payet was the insult to injury. That's a foul, free kick on Diego Costa. It needed 2. Well, I have to say that looked a harsh decision. Jermaine comes off, Mitroglou comes on, and Jermaine a little bit better tempered than the previous, obviously, than the previous substitution when Campos had to be replaced. Now a third one would surely seal it, and wouldn't it be wonderful if Griezmann was to complete a hat-trick? As the ball comes tossed in there by Jimenez towards the far side of the far corner quadrant. Now Koke, who's had a marvellous game himself, but unfortunately he's going to be overshadowed by the superb performance of a certain Mr. Griezmann, who's turned up big time when it really does matter the most, and that's the way it's been throughout. As oh, another foul there, is it on by Gestapo, and he's furious because Hernandez has probably bought the free kick and is going to get a yellow card, and he's furious there, Gustavo. I can understand his reasoning, because I think Hernandez's theatrics has booked Luis Gustavo in the book, and I find that stupid. It's Gabby going forward. Oh really, Gabby, get a grip. This play acting has got to stop. He's holding his face as if he's been shot. I cannot understand the play acting in this final. It's a big final. There are people watching this around the world and listening to this around the world, and we've got two teams that have just play acted their way through this final. Not taking anything away from both teams. The football has not been there, and the only person that's come out of it and any real credit is Griezmann, really. And it would have been Payet if he hadn't have got injured. That was a genuine injury, but some of the free kicks that have been given have been powder puff challenges. It's just been... Gabby has just bought the decision there. It's just not on. There's talk of him about Griezmann going off to Barcelona, have been links with him, and it would be a big blow to Atletico Madrid if they were to lose him. He's a big player for them. Well, Atletico Madrid didn't do themselves justice in the Champions League group phase, but they found the Europa League to be their competition this season, certainly as far as European football is concerned. As Marselle looking search for a goal that should get them back. We've played just over 76 minutes now, less than a quarter of an hour left to play, and well, unless they can come up with a miracle with 2 goals and a miracle comeback, then I would have to wager now, the longer it goes on, Atletico Madrid's name is appearing on the trophy as Costa breaks into the penalty area. Costa turns back, left hand side of the 6-yard box, finds Koke in support. Koke got the ball, but then was hustled down a bit by 2 white shirted defenders. Ball then hooked forward, or sideways rather, to Clinton in G on the right hand side, but again, oh, and G's lost his head. And this game was going to blow over at some point, and the referee hasn't helped. I think NG needs to be booked here, because that was just petulant. Referee, for once, on the spot. Right decision. Wasn't a red card offence, he's just flicked out a leg. But there has been a needle brewing in this game, and it's been brewing and brewing all evening, and it threatens to ruin it there. Lucas has also been booked as well. And his part in the shenanigans then. Understand Marcelle's frustration, but a little bit of respect and dignity, and I have to say some of the play acting from both teams has been disgraceful, and it's not fitting of a final of this stature. It's got to be said. If we see any play acting in the European Cup final, I'll be less than impressed. Because I'd like to see good football. In a final like this, you want to see the best players turn up and play good football. You do not, under any circumstances, want to see play acting. And I bet we're going to see plenty of that during the World Cup as well. Play acting of the highest possible standard in certain games in the World Cup with certain teams, naming no names. But 12 minutes left. Really not. It's not been a classic UEFA final, but some of the better football has been played by the Spaniards, and a certain Frenchman playing in France for a Spanish team, and that's given away again, and that's been the story of the match. And the ball forward now towards Griezmann, left hand side of the penalty area. He's on a hat-trick, but he may well have to try and make an assist this time. His attempted cross was charged down, but again a little bit and really poor football there from Marseille, not really playing with any due care and attention, and that's surely going to be a foul. And G has already been booked. I think he's running a risk here of getting himself in the referees, getting himself into trouble. Free kick. Now a third one will do it and make it absolute. Koke is going to take the free kick from the left hand side. It's going to be right footed into the Marseille penalty area. It's going to be floated in. A third one will seal the deal. He's gone out, in fact, to number 14, Gary. Gary now something like 40 yards from goal, and they've retreated. Well, that's odd. That's really odd to see that played back. I can understand why they want to not take too many risks, but we haven't seen any stylish football. The precious little stylish football we've seen has come from Griezmann and one or two others. I think Koke's had an outstanding game, but there's nobody really that has stood out for Marseille, and that's the big disappointment. We need two teams to make a spectacle, and Marseille up until now have not really done well. As we've had 80 minutes now, and we're into the last 10 of this final, and it's going the way of Atletico Madrid. They need 2 goals in 10 minutes, Marseille, plus stoppage time, if they're going to win. Oh, let's keep this final going. Extra time would happen if they were to score twice in that time. Ball into the penalty area. Header one, it's got in the post. Would you believe it? It stayed out. Oh, the header came back off the post. I don't know who got the header in. The ball came in. I think it might have been Guru that hit the post with the header. The goalkeeper was beaten a mile. Oblak was beaten. It's hit the inside of the post, and for some unbelievable reason, it somehow stayed out. And the luck is just not with Marseille tonight. You can tell that the football gods are on Griezmann and Atletico Madrid's side. They've got a free kick here. Let's have a look at the opportunity again. Well, we work down this right-hand side. The cross was perfect. The first good ball that we've seen Torwan play in. And oh, what a chance that is. Little flick and off the post. And well, that just, well, Guru will come no closer. That would have really put Atletico Madrid's backs up against the wall. Meanwhile, they've got a free kick deep inside Marseille territory. It just wasn't meant to be for Marseille tonight. Maybe they used up their 9 lives in the semi-final in Salzburg against the Red Bull Salzburg, but to give the fans credit, they're still cheering and dancing. They know they've given their best shot, but it's not been easy. Fussy refereeing, play acting from both sides. It's not been the spectacle we hoped would be, considering the attacking prowess that both teams had. It didn't help the game with Payet sadly having to come up with an injury, but unfortunately football is a cruel game sometimes, and Marseille have had the better of possession, but when you've got a player like Antoine Griezmann on your team, it gives you that extra 5% edge in your game. And of course Diego Costa, they're an unstoppable pair up front for Atletico Madrid, and they'll do well, I think, Madrid, Atletico, to keep hold of Griezmann, because he's going to be going to a big club sooner rather than later. A much bigger club, with all due respect to the Atletico Madrid side. But here they come now, looking for one to get one back now. Can they get the ball into the penalty area? Still a chance, but again, it just won't drop for Marseille at the moment. The cross came in from the right. It was a low cross, but once again, they want a shot coming in again from 20 odd yards. It was well hit. It was a Marvey with a shot, and to be fair to Oblak, he saw it. The left foot shot, it was struck with some velocity, swerved a little bit in the air, but the goalkeeper Oblak had his eyes on the ball from the moment it left Amvarmi's foot, left foot that is, and it was straight into his chest, if you like. Well, the Marseille fans are still chanting. They know that their team has tried to put up a decent display, but when you're up against a team of Atletico Madrid's undoubted quality, and let's face it, the pressure was on Atletico Madrid to perform tonight, and Griezmann has certainly been the undoubted man in the match, there's no doubt about that. But Diego Simeone in the stands, will he be allowed down on the pitch to join in the post-match celebrations? Attempts on target, 2 for Marseille and 3 for Atletico Madrid. Unfortunately, that one where the header came off the post will not count as a shot on target, because it's not actually hit the target. It does come back off the post, but if it had gone in, it would have been cast as a shot on target. But well, there you go. 5.5 minutes left of normal time. And really it's been quite an ordinary European final, the Europa League final. It's not been a classic. It's not helped with niggling refereeing in the first half, but we've seen a much better second half. And here goes an opportunity for Atletico, crossing for the right. Koke is waiting by the penalty spot, and the ball's out for a throw, level with the 6-yard box of Marseille. So Atletico Madrid, and they're not relenting with Atletico. They're going for that third goal, and that should tie the match well and truly in their favour. Griezmann wants to complete a hat-trick as well, and I have to say, it looks on the surface as a possession, but when you look at it in the cold light of day, the best team look as if they're going to be winning this match anyway. And I have to say, it's been an open and shut case, and Marseille have really tried to play. Oh, they tried to be too clever again, and Koke nearly took advantage there. Sarr just showed too much of that, and now again they've given it away. Here's Costa. Costa shoots right foot, deflected, and is that going to go for a throw? Or is it going to be kept in? It's going to be kept in. It was going to go for a corner actually on the far side, but credit to Marseille, they're trying to keep the ball around, and they need to get it out of their own half if they can. They need to get it up the field. They've got 4 minutes just over to go here in Lyon with normal time. 4 minutes to go. Here they go again now. Sarr down the far near side. Can Sarr get the crossing? He can now towards the penalty area. The chance is here. It might break for Quinton and G. Oh, he's caught it all wrong. He stabbed it out for a throw-in when he should have tried to knock it goal-bound. He was attempting to hit it goal-bound, and Clinton and G copped it right up here. Oh dear. He's gone with the inside of his foot. Well, he's trying to hit it with the outside of his foot, and he's got it badly wrong, and he's sliced it so badly it's gone out for a throw-in. Oh dear. That would have given, if he'd have hit the target with that one and caught that perfectly, then it would have been a great goal, and it would have put them back in contention, but it's not to be. 3 minutes left of the match, and substitution, which Atletico Madrid will take great delight in taking as much time as they possibly can. And I have to say, Correa's had a fantastic match himself. We don't mention him too well but I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with Diego Costa. Hasn't really come to the party as Thomas Partey ironically now comes on for the remaining 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time that remains. Diego Simeone on the cusp of winning another UEFA Cup, and won the Europa League himself in his first season as manager back in 2012. And it's a competition in the main that's been dominated by Spanish teams in recent years. Seville won it a couple of times running. They beat Liverpool in one final, which we covered a couple of years ago in 2016, and they were superb on the night, to give them their fair dues. But here's Griezmann now. They're looking rampant now, and a good ball forward, and Costa's onto it. He's been forced wide a little bit on the left hand side of the penalty area, but he's got the ball back, and the ball's left it in, and here's a chance for a third one, and there it is with the right foot, and he's finished it right off in style. Gabi, the substitute, makes it safe. 3-0 Atletico Madrid. Marseille were caught cold on the break, and Gabi had the whole the right hand side, the whole right hand side of the Marseille penalty area to himself, and he just took his time, smashed it in perfectly with the right foot across Mendanda's goal into the far corner, and that is that with 1 minute and 10 seconds of normal time to go. 3-0. Atletico Madrid's name now surely is on the Europa League trophy. Disappointment for Marseille, who have sunk to their knees. It's not going to be French delight, but it's going to be Spanish joy, and they'll be celebrating in the red half of Madrid tonight, that's for sure. Good breakout, nothing wrong with that. Costa was on his own, and he drew three Marseille defenders out of position, and this is how they played it beautifully. Good ball in, and then Gary just took his time. First touch to control it was exceptional, and then the finish, well, pick that out. Right foot across the goalkeeper. He gets a hand on it, Mendanda, but not enough. And there's a delight on the face of a certain Antoine Griezmann, who won't get a complete hat-trick, but he doesn't care. There's a big gleaming smile on his face, a massive grin across his face. As we now go into the last 5 seconds of normal time, and former Liverpool and Chelsea man Fernando Torres, who once cost £50 million, comes on for his boyhood club, and he's going to get a little taste of the action. We've only got the 2 added minutes at the end. I have to say the second half as a spectacle has been much better than the first, but it doesn't matter now. The result isn't in doubt, because Marseille tried, but it just wasn't to be their night, and you could tell that straight away when Payet had to go off after about half an hour. And then obviously Mikelou, at 2-0, if that goes in instead of hitting the outside of the post and rebounding out, well, who knows what might have happened. But it's all over now. We're now nearly halfway through the 2 minutes. We're deep into the first minute of the 2. 1 minute 15 in fact of stoppage time remaining, and the game is up now as a contest. But what a superb performance Atletico Madrid have been. I've put up from start to finish. The Europa League is going to be won by Atletico Madrid. They were flops in the Champions League group phases. They dropped out in 3rd place, but but since the turn of the year they've taken this competition completely and utterly seriously, and have shown it the respect it deserved. There's no need for Diego Costa to complain about the referee. He's going to be lifting the trophy in about 35 seconds from now. But what a night it is for Atletico Madrid. Marseille gave it their all. It just wasn't going to be their night. They were just unlucky, really. But it was the Antoine Griezmann show. He's going to pick up the Man of the Match award, and he's also the JB Man of the Match award. I don't think there's any much doubt about him being the winner of that. As we're now deep into stoppage time, we've got about 10 seconds to go, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the referee actually blow up a little bit earlier than that. 4 seconds left, and it's Atletico Madrid who are going to win the Europa League. We played the 2 minutes, and there's going to be no more, because Atletico Madrid have won the Europa League. 3-0 winners here tonight in Lyon in France, against the Marseille side who huffed and puffed, but in the end just couldn't break anything down at that particular time. But let's give credit to Atletico Madrid. They were superb on the night. Marseille didn't help their cause with losing Payet after 32 minutes. And let's hope that's not too serious, and let's hope it's a precautionary measure. But he didn't look too good for Payet as he came off the field in tears. And he so wanted to make an impression tonight, but it just wasn't to be his night, I'm afraid. But let's not take anyway. Which was the Antoine Griezmann show. We're going to stick with you for a few minutes because we're going to get the presentation. Obviously, with a winner, there always has to be a loser. But a fantastic performance, really, as they get the presentation stage stepped on. 2 goals from Griezmann, 21 minutes and 49 minutes. Gabi with the 3rd one, a minute from the end, and the 89th minute. The Marseille fans now still cheering, and that's good support, and that's proper supporters. Good football fans they are. Well done to Marseille fans for sticking with their team right until the bitter end. Good to see. Good to see. But it's Griezmann's night, and if he can start for France in the World Cup, potentially he could have a World Cup winners medal there. Well, the pressure will be on him to perform, and he's absolutely enjoying it now. He's jigging with delight over on the far side. The scarves are being whizzed round in circles, waved round in circles by the Atletico fans. They're absolutely loving it. Payet there. Well, it wasn't his night. And let's just hope it's nothing too serious. And what about that nice touch between the two coaches? And Diego Simeone has been allowed onto the field. and commiserates the losing manager, who in return congratulates him. It's not a soul searching for Marseille. It just didn't happen for them tonight, but it certainly happened for this team from the red half of Spain, or for the Madrid rather. Of course, their city rivals will take part a week on Saturday in the European Cup final. But right from the moment it just wasn't going to be Marseille's day, especially when they hit the post late on at 2-0. If that goes in, it might have been a much more nervy finish for Atletico Madrid, but instead that goal ran at the end from Gavi to add to the 2 that was already accumulated by Antoine Griezmann, has sent them well and truly over the line. We're still waiting to get the presentation now. UEFA always take about 500 years with these presentations, but they're going to save in a moment, that is for sure. Atletico Madrid. But the best team won, there's no doubt about that. And as I can see there, the engraver is putting the finishing touches to the name of Atletico Madrid. That's going to be the new name on the UEFA Cup, on the old UEFA Cup, which is the trophy on offer. The winners of the Europa League, formerly known as the European Cup, and going back even further than that, the Intercity Fairs Cup back in the 60s, where Burnley got to the quarterfinals back in 1967. And they're back there next season, and if they get to the group stages and draw one of the big teams, well, beware, Turf Moor is not a place for selection on a wet Wednesday night. Marseille, it just wasn't meant to be their night. They tried and tried and tried, it just wasn't meant to be. They had chances early on, they had opportunities, and well, there's tears of sadness. I think that's Ocampos there, crying his eyes, crying unashamedly. There's nothing wrong with grown men crying. Tears of sadness from the French side, tears of joy for the Spanish. And well, it just wasn't Marseille's night. There'll be some soul searching to do. It's a sad way when a season ends like that. Marseille was superb, but maybe on the cold lighted day they used up all their luck in the semi-final a couple of weeks ago against Salzburg away from home when they won in extra time. Maybe their luck was then in then and not tonight. Jan Oblak was beaten, but his post saved him near the end, and that was the difference. Madrid took their chances. Marseille had the better of the opening 15-20 minutes, but just didn't take the chances. And that is invariably what happens when you don't take your chances. As the runners up, I'm not going to call them losers because that would be very disrespectful to Marseille to call them that, but the runners up will go up to receive their runners up medals. And well, and I hope Atletico Madrid and the players and the staff actually give them a good hug, as well as Antoine Griezmann takes a television interview down on the field. And well, he's done a great job. Had to watch from the stands today after his stupid sending off at Arsenal in the semi-final, Diego Simeone, but well, his assistant German Borgos did absolutely superb for him tonight. And well, here's the first goal given to Griezmann on the plate. There's the jig of the light, and then he flips it over with his left foot for the second one into the far corner, and then does a dance routine with Koke, and then Gavi at the end with the third, giving it the machine gun salute to make it 3-0. And that was the way it finished. They hit the post at 2-0 Marseille. If that goes in, and then it's game on, but Gavi punished the opportunities. They tried and tried, Marseille, it just wasn't enough. But well, they'll be celebrating in the red half of Madrid tonight, and I wonder if the white half of Madrid, the Galacticos, will be celebrating in a week and a half's time. Well, Liverpool will certainly might have something to say about that. But it's been a tremendous second half, really. The first half really was a game really to forget. The referee didn't help, the Dutch referee. I didn't think he had his best game tonight, incidentally, and his officials didn't help him at all. There was a few things they didn't really get right, but I don't think it's the time to start inquest into the referee's performance, because ultimately it wasn't going to have an influence on the result in the grand scheme of things. But there was a lot of play, and I've got to say there was a lot of play acting tonight, and that's a discredit to both teams, I have to be honest. But the team that did play the football have won the game. Atletico Madrid. Marseille tried to play Atletico at their own game with the passing out and stuff. You just don't do that against the Spanish side. As we, well, it's taken a long time, but the presentation party is now arrived. It's taken them long enough, and hopefully we'll see the Europa trophy as well. Well, it just wasn't meant to be. Toxic one banner says, I'm not sure toxic is the right word to describe this performance tonight from Atletico Madrid. I think they're going to do a little guard of honour for the runners up, and that's a nice touch if that is to be the case, because it shows, even though they've been at it hammer and tongs, and there were certain moments during the match where tempers were starting to fray a little bit, certainly from Marseille's point of view, the game is going to end in such a nice cooperative spirit that way. And if they are going to give a guard of honour to the runners up, then what a nice touch that is, and shows a great deal of brilliant sportsmanship from Atletico Madrid in victory. And it shows the opposition, who they've beaten quite comfortably in the end by 3-0, shows them a bit more respect too, and that can only be good for the game. And indeed they are going to do a guard of honour. There's a lot of Marseille players quite unashamedly crying there. We're going to break off for a second or two, and then we'll rejoin you for the presentations. Just stay with us. Well, we just had to take a quick little break there, but we are back with you now in Lyon as the officials, who didn't really do themselves justice. I have to say the referee was very picky, especially in the first half. Bjorn Kuipers, his assistants getting medals from the president of UEFA. But I have to say it was a little bit of a disappointment really as regards the final, because we expected good football, and we didn't really get that. Really, in terms of both teams actually going for it. Would have been nice to have an open game of football. The president of UEFA, in point of fact, is Alexander Schifran. He's also the vice president of FIFA, which are hosting the World Cup, of course, in the summer. And what a nice touch there as he dishes out the losers medals, to Marseille. Runners-up medals, I should say. That's doing them injustice, but they were well beaten tonight, there's no doubt about that. A few of the players quite unashamedly crying. Didier Deschamps there as well. Crediting G, whose shot bloomed on another day. That would have bloomed right into the top corner. Instead it bloomed out for a throw-in, and that just showed how frustrated it was. You can tell that some of them do not want it. They just want to throw away their medals here. Dimitri Payet, certainly one of them. As the substitutes are going through. Luis Gustavo, the captain at the back, who didn't start tonight as the captain. It was Dimitri Payet. It just wasn't meant to be. Long line of players and support staff, and you know, Sarri getting his medal there. Payet unashamedly crying. Steve Mandanda, his face looking as glum as the Riviera tonight. And some of these Marseille players do not want to wear those silver medals. And you can understand why. But they'll be back. They're a good side, good little side, and have done well to reach this stage. But they're the winners. Diego Simeone had a smile as broad as Madrid. Absolutely happy. They get gold medals for winning the competition. And they were worthy winners. German Brugos, who did all the talking from the bench tonight. He did a tremendous job. And Diego got in. There he is. Diego Costa. Well, he must be loving life now in Madrid, having gone back there, having left Chelsea under a cloud. And I think his move away was justified in the end, because Chelsea have suffered and him not being there, and he's come here to Madrid and he's won himself a piece of silverware. All Black getting his medals as well. Thomas is there too. Little kiss on the trophy as well. Little touch there. Well, All Black, who made some good saves in the match, did really well, played really out of his skin. As we cut to as the television cameras cut to the losers in the end. Antoine Griezmann, man of the match in my eyes, and he gets the JB Man of the Match award. What a superb performance, and they're now gonna huddle together and receive the Europa League Cup. There's Fernando Torres getting his medal, and now it's all about the UEFA Europa League being presented now. What a performance it has been. And the captain, I think it's Antoine Griezmann, that's going to receive the trophy. He's had a marvellous game. In fact, it's Gabby that's going to receive the trophy now, and they're going to lift it all together. In fact, it's Fernando Torres who's going to lift it high into the air, and Atletico Madrid are the Europa League winners for 2018. They lift the trophy high into the Leon sky, and well, the fireworks and the pyrotechnics have gone off big time. There's ticker tape confetti there too. What a performance. Griezmann certainly the man of the match in my book. Played terrifically well. Gabby is the captain, funnily enough, not Griezmann as I initially thought. But a terrific performance, and they will carry off that trophy to their fans. And what a performance. And yes, Godin, the captain, Godin, who will maybe represent Uruguayan player. What a terrific game he had. There were the worthy winners on the night. Wasn't a classic by any stretch of the imagination, but they performed like the favourites they were, and at the end of the day they are worthy winners of the Europa League. The trophy now being held aloft into the skyline, and those celebrations will go on way into the night, where we're seeing a replay of the trophy lift. I don't understand why we have to see a replay of the trophy lift, but there you are. We're in the realms of French television directors, as Diego Costa and Fernando Torres, both former Chelsea players, still Dimitri Payet still crying, and he's been crying since the 33rd minute of this match when he had to come off with an injury. Steve Mandanda giving a consoling hug to his colleague Gustavo, but it's been that sort of night for Marselle when everything they tried did not come off, and they're still applauding their team off. Marselle, give them credit, they're stuck by their team to the bitter end, and they're appreciating the applause from their fans. Quentin NG is crying as well. There's a lot of Marseille players in tears. That's the other side of the coin. There's one of absolute ecstasy and there's one of absolute, well, I won't say tragedy, but I think tragedy is the wrong word in those circumstances, but it's been really sadness. But nothing wrong with Atletico Madrid's victory. They've absolutely earned that right tonight. And Griezmann, JB, man of the match, and I'm sure he's man of the match as well in everyone else's eyes. Torres enjoying his moment in the sun. Atletico Madrid through and through, and he walks off with the Europa League, and that is the scene where we leave you tonight in Madrid, in Lyon. A great Europa final for Atletico Madrid. It just wasn't meant to be for Marseille. It wasn't the best final we've seen in European football history, but Antoine Griezmann was a pure genius. 2 goals from him, Gabi's one at the end, sealed the deal for Atletico Madrid, and they've won the Europa League by 3-0. And just quickly before we go, just to point you in the direction of 2 big matches coming up in the next week and a half here on this YouTube channel to finish the Cup season off. We have the FA Cup final on Saturday. Join me from 4:45 as we introduce the build-up. We'll have a bye with me, we'll have the national anthems, and we'll have the whole match between Manchester United and Chelsea for the FA Cup final, one of the big games of the final game of the domestic club season. And then a week on Saturday we're with Liverpool as they look to win their 6th European Cup against Real Madrid, who are going for their 3rd successive triumph in this competition, having beaten Atletico Madrid in 2016 in Milan and Juventus last year in Cardiff. So plenty of good football to look forward to. There's going to be an England friendly, of course. There's going to be the playoffs with Chris, hopefully, all being well, and of course the World Cup, where me and Chris Whiteman will share commentary between us and bring you the true flavour of the World Cup. And as I said, that will more details will come nearer the tournament, which is now less than 30 days away. I hope you enjoyed our commentary from Lyon tonight. It's gone the way of Atletico Madrid. Worthy winners, 3-0 winners, and Antonio Griezmann. Well, what can we say other than 2 short words? Pure genius. From me, JB, good night. Bye bye.